Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to race number 20 of the 2025 edition of the WRA Oreo Cup Series. After tonight's race, we have 6 more races left to go until the 16 drivers are determined in this season's chase for the championship. If you missed this last night's qualifying session, we had some copyright videos that was an issue the last couple of weeks, and why most of the Talladega races, Talladega and last week at Texas, were copyrighted, and I had to do some editing. So again, I apologize for that. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue going forward here today. C Bracken, or baby C Bracken, I should say, starts on the pole position for this evening's race from Nashville. CJ is 12th in the standings, gained 3 spots after Texas last week, alongside of Ian Duddas, still looking for his first win on the season. Hopefully that TV did not get me copyrighted, or I'm going to have to edit a little bit of the video. Jesse Art in row number 2, 27th on the points, still looking for her first win on the season. And Evan Barici in the number 12, 31st in the point standings. Looking at the rest of the starting lineup, Reggie Fogleman, last week's winner from Texas, starting at the rear of the field. Up. That's a car. Up. Hey. That's 2 attempts trying to get these cars rolling off. So I'm going to get up here to CJ. There we go. Points coming in this race from Texas. Sean Art is still the points leader by 30 points over Brooke Paquette. A Crenshaw gained 7 spots up to third in the standings. N Fryman is 4th. D Ebrahimian 5th. Cody Smart 6th. K Wascher 7th. Quentin Moore 8th. Courtney Lynn dropped 6 spots down to 9th after a problem, which we don't know what the issue was on her car. And S Askraov completes the top 10. Getting ready for the Ally 400 here tonight. 38 laps about to be run here this evening from the Music City of Nashville. Pace car is off. And we are green from Nashville. Right now, Josh Harmon, our winner from Talladega, who is currently outside the top 30 in the points table. He is only 23 points back of 30th in the standings, meaning he needs a good run here tonight to try to get himself into the top 30 in the points to have his win from Talladega to count for a spot into the playoffs.
Watching right now, I see you. I understand you because I'm one of you.
I love the bitch. I'm not talking wrong for us, but like big party club.
CJ Bracken, former winner this season. CJ Bracken won back at Homestead earlier this season. He's actually I think he's a 2-time winner this season, if I'm not mistaken. And I am correct. So right now, Cody Smart, Reggie Fogleman, and baby CJ are tied for the number 1 seed. However, if CJ, or baby CJ I like to call him, goes to victory lane, baby CJ will have the number 1 seed going into the reformatted playoff standings in about 6 races from now. So Baby CJ needs to stay consistent enough. And of course, Baby CJ is so far high enough in points, I don't think he'll fall outside the top 30 in points unless he struggles the next 6 races. Eric Monaco, who made the show last night, that's in tonight's race, I do not think, even though he's a part-time driver, I don't think, despite going to victory lane, it's not going to be enough for Eric Monaco to make the top 30 in the points to have his win count for a spot into the playoffs. Ian Dutta currently in the second position in that Motorcraft Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Ian Dutta 28th in the points, still looking for his first win on the season.
After Super Tuesdays, it is now a Biden-Trump rematch. The baby boomer death grid continues.
Caution's out. Caution's out for the first time today. Baby CJ actually did better than Sean and Jesse last week at Texas, but the yellow is out for the first time here this evening. Let's see, Eric Sadler involved. He's had a rough season in that 41 machine. Dead last in points of the charter drivers, and now he is out of the race. Sean Art's involved. William Ayers, maybe Annika Ritchie. Possibly Cody Smart involved. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened in the early stages here in the Ally 400. Well, Nashville Super Speedway, we can say this. 4 wide does not work. It's like the contact started with Annika Ritchie and Sean Art. William Ayers get a piece. And look at Eric Sadler into the catch fence. Thankfully, there's no grandstand there. Up and over the top of the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Sean Art goes flipping. The good news is Sean Art wrecked the field. The bad news is he was involved in this wreck. Eric Sadler, the black smoke erupted on that United Rentals Ford Mustang Dark Horse. I can't believe he drove that car away. Was dead last in points of the drivers that ran every race this season. William Ayers, who is yet to find victory lane, 22nd in points. This is not the run he was hoping for. Annika Ritchie comes into this race 34th in points. She did not need something like this to happen. And Senor Sean, that's, by the way, the points leader, Senor Sean. I believe his night's going to come to an end. And that is good news for the gal that's trying to run him down for the points lead, Brooke Paquette. She might capitalize on Sean's DNF. As the caution's out for the first time tonight, let's jump to the restart here at Nashville. Going to go back to green on lap 13 of 38. Problems for the third place car. That would be Jalecia Kuzman, as apparently she's got an issue and she'll have to come to pit road. So CJ Bracken will be the leader. Ian Dutta will be second. Bradley Reim now third. Fourth, Jesse Art. Fifth, Summit Oskin. Sixth, K Wascher. Alexander Dawson, seventh. Jared Johnson, eighth. Alina Ritchie, ninth. And Marinelli Dillion will now be in the top 10 on this restart. We'll give you an update on the 17 as Jalecia has come to pit road with a problem. Not sure what the issue is. That is a tough break for her. Green flag back in the air on lap 13 of 38. Drivers out after that incident, just 2 to be exact. Eric Sadler and Sean R. Eric Sadler dead last in points of the drivers that are full-time this season. His rough season continues. Sean Art, on the other hand, that's the guy who comes in this race as the points leader. And William Ayers lost a lap after he was involved in our only caution of this incident. The gal that was trying to run down, as Bradley Reim's going to take the lead. The gal that was trying to run Sean Art down for the points lead, Brooke Paquette, running in 27th. And it looks like Jalecia Kuzman's problem is not terminal, as she's back out on the track. However, she is now 1 lap down in the 39th position. So whatever the issue was on that Fastenal Ford Mustang Dark Horse, that is a tough break for her. Jalecia Gisman struggling in points, 35th to be exact, so this is not the result she was hoping for. So this is going to really shake up the points, as Summit Ozkan just got around Bradley Reim. This is going to really shake up the points as far as who is going to be the points leader and all that heading into next week's race, which next week actually, let me look at next week's race. We're at Gateway next week.
Every major celebrity.
We need you. It's time to sing a new song. Take over, Elijah.
The celebrity romance with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So good. Trump is a showman. He puts on the McDonald's apron and he's making a garbage truck. Pictures worth 1,000 votes, if not 1,000,000 votes.
This was the year of the podcast wars. Welcome to Call Her Daddy. It is good to be here. Donald Trump started tapping into different podcasts. Podcasts with massive followings. The Nelk Boys.
What's your favorite people, the Nelson Boys?
All right, let me go back to the schedule. I had to copy some things.
Really try to energize one type of young men. I'm going to give Barron Trump a lot of credit for pushing his dad to do some of those podcasts.
So SNL goes ahead and casts an all-star team for this season. They had Maya Rudolph.
Well, let's go come out of that coconut tree.
All right, here we go. Just past the halfway point of this race that we're about to complete. 19 races down, 19 laps down, not 19 races down, excuse me. We have completed 19 races. This is race number 20. And of course, time is running out for drivers who have a win or that are outside the top 30 in points, with the possible exception of Eric Monaco. The only driver who has a win that's outside the top 30 in the points is the 77 of Josh Harmon, and where he's running 27th. And he came in this race 23 points back of 30th in the standings. And with where he's running in 27th, that's not going to cut it. Chase Brooks, by the way, comes in this race that critical 30th position in the points. As Alex Dawson. How would it be for Alex Dawson to win in the sponsor race? Of course, he's sponsored by Ally, and that's the name of this race, the Ally 400. Alex Dawson dropped 8 spots down to 24th position in the points. So he is inside the top 30 in points. If he gets a win, he would, I believe, make the playoffs, providing he stays in the top 30 in the points. So it's been a struggling season for that 48 team.
Traditional people to be on his side in Washington State. What do you think are going to be effective?
I think the Senate confirmation.
Let me count how many drivers are inside the top 30 in points. We have, let's see, that have wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Right now, 11 drivers are inside the top 30 in points that have wins. Sean Art, Brooke Paquette, Annie Crenshaw, D Ebrahimian, and Courtney Lynn are currently on the bubble. That's pending if Josh Harmon does not get himself into the top 30 in the points. And Courtney Lynn's running in 29th. William Ayers has gone a second lap down. Remember, he was involved in our only caution so far. And unfortunately, he has never recovered. We'll be approaching 10 to go after they cross the line after lap 28 is done. Samad Ozkan. So far we've had 14 winners so far this season. Ozkan would be our 15th. The thing is, Ozkan is inside the top 30 in points. If he wins, that puts Courtney Lynn below the cut line to try to get into the playoffs. As we're now at 10 laps of racing to go. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmission or any use of this broadcast, descriptions, or accounts of this race without the express written consent of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, want to thank you fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast here at Nashville. Samad Ozkan would love to get a win to get himself into the playoffs. Like I said, it's been a difficult season for the 6 team. He's had some good finishes, but he just needs to get wins to get himself into the playoffs. And like I said, he's only 19th in the points. And by the way, the lowest driver in points that have a win that's inside the top 30 in points is Jackie Tang. And he's running in 8th. So Jackie Tang needed a good run today to stay away from that 30th position in the points cut line. Which, how many points was he ahead of 30th? He was a total of 13 points ahead of 30th in the standings. So this is a well-needed run for him. There's Annika Ritchie. K Wascher was in the top 10 right before we went back to green, so he faded big time. And there's Josh Harmon. I don't know if I'm going to have to say this, but I have a feeling Josh Harmon's going to enter these last 6 races in a must-win situation. As there you see Sam Tinley, who raced his way into tonight's race via the Go-Go Home session from last night. Skylar Taylor, 24th, right behind Eric Monaco, the part-time points leader. Brooke Paquette, second in points, 21st. And let me see. Crenshaw's not running well. So I think, looking at the points, of course, Sean finished in 41st. I think Sean's going to keep the points lead despite a DNF. They're currently on the countdown on the East Coast. Even though by the time you're watching this, we're already into 2025, just letting you all know that. As I'm recording this, they're about to hit 2025 on the East Coast. But by the time you're watching this, we're already into 2025. As Alex Dawson goes to the race lead. He's one of those drivers a win for him would get him into the playoffs. As we're down to 2 laps of racing to go. Of course, we still have an hour to go as I'm recording this. Well, remember, we still have an hour to go, Brian. As Sam and Ozkan are going to take the lead. Next time by, we're going to see the white flag. Bradley Reim's going to get into the mix for this win. White flag, 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. And also the 9s up there could also play a factor in who's going to win this race. William Ayers. Oh, Ozkan got held up by the 9. But I think he's going to have enough. Summit Ozkan's going to win the Ally 400 here tonight at Nashville. And unofficially has he locked himself a spot into the playoffs. Bradley Reim so darn close. He'll have to settle for second. As he came into this race, Bradley Reim 13th in the points, so he could get himself into the above the cut line as far as the playoff situation, pending if the 77 does not make the top 30 in the points. Alexander Dawson will have to settle for third. Driver came in this race 24th in the points. Good run for him. Jared Johnson will get fourth. Good run for the 4 team, who's 29th in the standings. Kelsey Higdon in fifth. That's a go-or-go homer. Good run for her. Baby C Bracken R, pole setter, finished in sixth. Marinelli Dillion came home in seventh. This is good news for Dillion because she's going to continue to pull away from 30th in the standings as far as the cut line is concerned. Jackie Tang 13 points above the cut line as far as the 30th position the points is concerned. Well needed run in 8th. Dana Monroe gets a top 10 in her debut. Well done to her. And Reggie Fogleman, who was near the rear of the field, stormed all the way back for a top 10 in the 10th position in car 10. How ironic is that? Maddie Crenshaw, Eric Stanbury, Daniel Witter, William Davis, and Chase Brooks were your top 15. As you look on down to the rest of the finishing results, we had 38 drivers finish the race. Annika Ritchie was the last car to finish. Jalecia Kisman was 1 lap down. Not entirely sure what was wrong on that 17 machine. William Ayers was 3 laps down after getting involved in our only caution. And then Sean R. Eric Sadler did not finish this race after they were involved in that wreck. And let's see, 20 points Brooke Paquette gained on Sean R. in the points. Brooke Paquette ended up 21st. She came as second in the points. So I think Sean's going to keep the points lead because he had a 30-point lead over Brooke Paquette. But what will the rest of the points look like? I have no clue, but we'll find that out at the same time as you do. But hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race from Nashville. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We show you your full finisher results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week at Gateway in St. Louis, Missouri. Until then, I've been D Whittle signing off. Good night from Nashville. Thank you for watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.